Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Bo Reed here. Welcome to Salesman Failure Syndrome and Power of Duplication. Show this presentation to every person who has or is considering getting in your primary multi-level marketing business. You want their thinking to be in the right direction from day one. This will get the proverbial monkey off their back. I would like to thank Don Faila and Robert Hollis for sharing this valuable information with me. This is a small variation of Don Faila's Napkin presentation number 1. After your people watch this, they will not have to think they have to go out and sponsor the world to make a large amount of money in multi-level marketing. This presentation will also show them how important it is to work with their people and help them get started. This presentation starts by writing down 2 times 2 equals 4, etc., and multiplying on down the line. 2 times 2 equals 4, 4 times 2 equals 8, 8 times 2 equals 16. We tell a joke on people that if they sponsor someone who cannot do this right, go ahead and pass on them because you're going to have trouble working with them. Notice that we start using the word sponsor now. To the right of the 2 times 2 column, write 3 times 3 saying, over here you sponsor 3 people. And you teach those 3 people to sponsor 3 people, making 9 more people. Then you teach your 3 people how to teach those 9 to sponsor 3, and now you have 27. Going down one more level, you have 81, like the following. If you look here, 3 times 3 equals 9, 9 times 3 equals 27, 27 times 3 equals 81. Notice the difference between 16 and 81 is 65 people. But the real difference, guys, is the 1 up here. The difference between 2 and 3 is 1. But the difference down here is 65. So the 1 is the real difference. Everyone only sponsored 1 more person. It gets better. Let's say you sponsor 4 people in the business. Moving to the right of the 3 times 3 column, let's see what happens if everyone sponsored only 2 more people. So you sponsor 2 more people. You sponsor 4, you teach them to sponsor 4, then you help your 4 to teach the 16 they have to sponsor 4, adding 64 to your group, and it's pretty amazing. Working down one level, before you know it, your group has 256 more people. Now that is a considerable difference right there. But what the only real difference was what? What was the only real difference? Yes, you're correct. The only real difference is that everyone only sponsored 2 more. Instead of sponsoring 2 or 3, they sponsored 4. Do you see that? They only sponsored 2 more, and look at the difference. It's a difference of 240 people in your group. Okay, let's do it one more time. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. 125 times 5 is 625 people. Now that is a fantastic difference. Again, the real difference is that everyone only had to sponsor 3 more. Most people can relate to sponsoring 1, 2, or 3 more, but usually find it difficult to relate to the figures on the bottom line. 16, 81, 256, and 625. So picture yourself in the last column, having had time to sponsor 5 serious people into the program. The 5 at the top of the column represents the ones you get sponsored who want to get serious about building a business of their own. You may have to sponsor 10, 15, or 20 people to find the 5 serious ones. Once you understand all these presentations, you will find your people will get serious quicker than people who come into organizations that don't know this material. These presentations will teach you how to work with them so they will get serious quicker. Notice that when you have sponsored 5 and they have sponsored 5, and so forth right on down the line. 5, 25, 125, 625. You add all of those up, and you will have a whopping 780 serious people in your organization. Doing this will help you answer the question, doesn't anybody have to sell the product? You've heard all the questions before if you've been at all active in your company. So just have your people go through this presentation and let it explain 2 times 2 equals 4, right on up to 780 distributors. In any kind of MLM, if you have 780 people using the products themselves, you have tremendous volume. Oh, and we have not even included those who are not serious, but are just product buyers. Now, if they all had 2, 3, 4, or 5 friends, let's just say they all had 10 customers from among their friends, relatives, acquaintances, that's 7,800 customers. Add to that the 780 distributors in your organization. Do you think 8,580 customers plus the product buyers will be able to provide you with a profitable enterprise? That's how you make a lot of money in any business, by having a lot of people doing a little bit. But remember, you are only working with 5 serious people, not an entire army. We run into people constantly in other MLM programs, as well as our own, who are amazed at how fast some organizations have grown. They've been in their programs longer than the fast growth organizations they've seen, but are scratching the think tank on top of their shoulders asking, what are they doing that I'm not doing? Our response to them is, how many people in your front line are you working with? The front line are those directly sponsored by you. They are also called your first level distributors. I usually hear figures anywhere from 25 to 50 or even more. I know people in MLM who have over 100 people in their front line, and I'll guarantee you that once you understand the principles outlined in this webinar, your team will pass those people up in 6 months, even though they've been building their teams for 6 to 8 years. Consider the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, or the Coast Guard. From the lowest private up to the top brass in the Pentagon, nobody has more than 5 or 6 people they are trying to directly supervise, and that's with rare exceptions. Think about it. Here we have West Point and Annapolis with over 200 years of combined, or experience each, not combined, but experience each, 400 years combined. And they don't think anybody should supervise more than 5 or 6 people at a time. So you tell me why people get into MLM and think they can effectively work with 50 people in their front line. Ladies and gentlemen, they cannot do it. That's why a lot fail, and you'll see why as you listen on. You shouldn't try to work with more than 5 serious people at a time. However, make sure that when you sponsor them, you start working down group. There's a point when they won't need you and then can break away and start another line on their own. This will free you up to work with yet another serious person, keeping your number of those that you are closely with at 5. Some programs may allow you to be effective with only 3 or 4 at a time, but none that I know of can be effectively built with more than 5. So some of the questions you have at this point may be cleared up as you listen. Listen and absorb. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bo Reed. Thanks for listening to presentation number 1. I look forward to teaching you more in this series of presentations.